So today you are creating your artifacts based in Rhino. So you're making kind of approximate digital models of what you see on Currency's website. So you're going to go to Currency's website, find the object you picked, and you need two views of it. So I'm going to get my snipping tool. And I'm going to save a snip of the side view. And then I'm going to go back, find the front view, and also get a snip of that. All right, so our next step is to bring those views into Rhino so that we can trace them. So I'm going to start out with my front view. So I'm going to double click on front and then type in picture. I'm going to find that front view and open it up. To start out with, you're just going to click and click the other corner. And it's in here. So right now it's not a specific scale. You need to know what your dimensions are. I have not measured a hat or my head to approximate those. So I'm just going to make some dimensions up. I want you to actually measure your head and figure it out. So to start with, I'm going to type an L for line, and then go ahead and draw one line straight down. If your line, like mine, is not going straight, come over here. I think yours might be on the side, and click on ortho, and that'll help your line be straight. Then you're going to select the line, type in copy, click the line, then move over and type in your dimensions. So I'm going to use 7 inches and enter. So that, between there and there is 7 inches, so my hat's way too big. I need to scale it down. So I'm going to take my hat, I'm going to move it so that the edge of it is on one line, and then I'm going to type in scale, click on one line, click on the other side of my hat, and then click on the second line. And now my hat is scaled down. I'm going to move this hat towards the middle of my grid here. So let's just check by doing DIST for distance. I'm going to check from here to here is 7 inches. It tells me up there, so that's great. Okay, so now I need to put in my other view. So I'm going to double click on here and go to right. And then I think I'm way zoomed out on here. So let's see, I'm going to select this. And then that's going to allow me to kind of zoom in on where that is here. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my side view. So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to type in Picture. Find my side view and open that up. So click and click again. I need to scale this as well. I think the height's probably about 5 inches. So I'm going to draw a line, then copy my line, type in copy, click on my line, move up 5 inches, type it in, and click. Okay, so now this needs to get scaled to my line. So I'm going to move it so the bottom of my hat's on that line, type in scale, click on that bottom line, click about at the top of my hat, and then bring it down to here. So now I have both a front view and a side view. I want to zoom into them, so I'm going to select them and type in Z, enter, S, enter, and that should zoom in. I can also do that in top view, so Z, enter, S, enter. Okay, so I want my two pieces to intersect each other right in the middle. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to type in M for move. I'm going to select the middle of this. If you find that your Rhino is not giving you all of these points, make sure that down here on the side you have all of these things checked, and near, mid, all of those kind of guides checked. So I'm going to click on here and then I'll click on the middle of this. And so now they're mostly aligned. I want to move it back a little bit more so that like kind of the top of this is right at the top of that hat. So I'm going to move this back a tiny bit. Okay, so now those are mostly aligned. I'm going to start modeling. So these are all on one layer. I'm going to lock that layer. So I'm going to double click on layer 1 to move to a different layer. Your layers are under this thing that looks like a pie. Lock the top one, and now we're working on the red layer. So I need to trace the back of the hat. I'm going to trace all 4 sides of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So to do this, I'm going to come over to my tools, and I'm going to look for this one that has the curve in it. I'm going to click on this little cascade button. It's kind of that triangle on the side. And I'm going to go to the third one over that says interpolate curve on surface. It then says select surface to draw on. So I'm going to select this is my surface I'm drawing on. So actually I have to unlock this, sorry. I'm going to select that as my surface I'm drawing on. And then I'm going to click here. And here I'm doing my best just to kind of trace the outline of that hat and hit enter. Okay, so now I'm going to do the front as well. So I'm going to select the surface to draw on, clicking here. And again, I want to start right at that point of the other one, so I make sure they're touching there. I'm coming around, I'm tracing that piece. Okay, I now need to do these two. So I'm going to hit enter, select my surface to draw on. I want to make sure I'm starting right at that midpoint again. Then I'm going to rotate around a bit, tracing in here, hit enter. And on the last side, make sure I start right at the middle again and tracing in that side. Okay, so I'm now going to do a loft of those 4 pieces to make the back of the hat. So I type in loft, and I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit enter. And you'll notice it's not closing it yet, so I want to do close loft, so it kind of closes the entire shape. And that's all I need to do. I'm going to leave it on normal, hit OK. So I have the back of my hat. I still need the front of the hat, so I need to trace that in. I think we're kind of going to look at the front view to do that, and then maybe do it as a sweep. So I'm going to go down my front view. So double click here, double click on front. And I'm actually going to switch layers just so we can see it more clearly. I'm going to double click on layer 2. And I'm going to use this tool to trace the front of this. I'm not going to put on my interpolate curves on surface. I'm just clicking on the first one here. So I want to trace kind of a whole outside of this, and then I'm going to work on moving pieces back. So I'm going to trace the whole front here. I need to turn off ortho to do this well. So I'm just clicking, kind of tracing the front piece, hit enter. And then I'm going to trace the back piece as well. So I'm tracing here. Okay, and now on the side, I'm going to need to do a piece that kind of gives me what that side looks like. So you'll notice that this has a crazy shape. I want to fix that. So in front view, I'm going to type in project. And then, project to C-plane. And then hit delete input objects, yes, so that's all projected. And let's make sure this one's all straight, that one's all straight, that's good. Okay, so I need to draw the side curve. So I'm going to come into my right view. And here I can grab my curve tool again. And I'm tracing from here, and I'm going to put project on down here. So I'm tracing, and hit enter. So now if I look at 3D, I want this curve to move to the front of that line. So I'm going to type move, and then I'm going to keep project on. We're going to move it forward until it gets to the front of that line. So that line, where is that line? I select it. It looks like it's back here. Okay. So I was thinking it was backwards. So I need to move this to there. So I'm going to select this one. And I'm going to move it forward until it comes to the front of this line. Okay, and then this other one, I'm going to move forwards until it comes to the other side of that line. So I double click on here, it looks like they're not aligned right now. So I want to kind of come over here, put project off. I'm going to get the middle of this and move it to the end of that line. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of scrolling around to see it. Okay, great. And then this one, I want to move to the end of that line. So I think this front piece, I drew a little bit too much. I probably didn't need to draw the side angles. So I'm going to just get rid of some points here. So to do that, I can put on points on. And then I can just select them and delete the side ones, the 2 on the side. And now take a look at it. And I think that's looking a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to do a sweep 2. Or I'm doing regular sweep. So I type in sweep, sweep 1, I select my rail, that's going to be this line. and then select sweep shapes. I select this shape and this shape and hit enter. And that's going to give me kind of this thing. You'll notice that right now, I think this needs to kind of change and move farther back to make this work. So this was my first attempt at making the shape. This attempt didn't go perfectly, right? So I'm going to hit cancel. Let's try altering this so that we can make this a little bit closer. So I'm going to go in perspective view, and I'm going to put points on again. I'm going to leave on project, and then I'm going to start moving these points back so that they hit the hat. So I can use my gumball tool, kind of bring these back, and I want them to kind of hit the hat. So I'm going to go ahead, bring these back. I'm leaving projectiles that I know they're not changing in dimensions that I'm not looking at. And bring this back, bring this one back, bring this one back, bring this one back. Okay, and then same thing here. I'm going to do points on, and I'm going to bring back a few of these. So now I'm kind of describing what the side of the hat looks like with these. Okay, so this is probably not going to be perfect, but just as a starting point, I'm now going to draw a line, turn off project, that connects this endpoint to that endpoint, and then connects this endpoint to this endpoint. So I might need to put this in wireframes. I can see these way over here. I can go to ghost in. I can put that one on. This one looks like it moved up and down in a way I didn't want it to, so we're going to move that back up. Okay, I'm going to join those lines, so I select all of them, take and J for join, and then I'm going to do a command called patch. And then click preview, and you'll see it's doing its best to make that fill, and hit OK. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to hide my default layer, and there is my approximate model of the hat. We'll work on making it watertight and printable later, but for now I just wanted to get the basic dimensions together.